Real quick, before we jump into this newest chapter, I gotta talk about something that I got wrong in my prior video on the previous chapter, because in that video I'd said that when Shiki was ripping the tree out of the ground and using it against Amora, that he wasn't using his ether gear when he did that act, when he accomplished that feat. But it turns out that after reading the comments and then rereading the chapter, that isn't the case. Shiki was using his ether gear. I just didn't catch it the first time. I was way too hyped and I didn't see any ether lines on his body, so I thought, hey, he was using his raw strength, but I guess not. What kind of MC can rip a tree out of the ground without using their powers, though? That's kind of whack. I bet Natsu could do it, and Natsu definitely could do it. Shiki, you a bum-ass bitch. I'm just playing as per usual. Now with that out of the way, let's dive into this chapter. So, chapter 116 basically starts out with Orc and Brittany testing to see if Shiki really does have a gravity-based ether gear, because in the previous chapter they were kind of just, not really guessing, but they were just basing that off of the reading that his ether was giving off. In this chapter, they wanted to see it in action. And in order to see if Shiki does actually have that ether gear, Orc takes the giant robot head that he was holding and throws it at Shiki. Shiki then grabs it and throws it away. This then confirms to Brittany and Orc that he does actually have the gravity ether gear, much like Shura. I'm just hoping that he isn't like some old dude that Shiki's gonna train from, like a Master Yoda type. Make him like young or middle-aged and eventually someone that Shiki can compete with, because I feel like when you have those Master Yoda type characters, that's somebody that the MC will never truly be able to go up against, because they're just on another level forever and ever. But anyways, Shiki then uses his ether gear to remove the glue from all his companions, and you can already guess, or actually you already know if you've read the chapter, what that does to the females. They're not in a sticky situation, but they're in a sticky situation when it comes to the clothing department. Y'all need to take a left at Gap. After that though, everyone is then interrupted by a bunch of drones that stop over top of them, and this scene right here really kinda shocked me, because once the drones detect multiple humans with high ether levels, they then proceed to drop tons of bombs. And I was taken off guard by this scene because it looks kinda real. Obviously, this tactic is not something that Hiro Mashima made up. It is a real tactic, and this is something that people have done many times in war, but like, just the way that it's drawn made it look kinda real. And I guess that's just a testament to how good Hiro Mashima is at art, that he can draw something that looks semi-real, and the explosion afterwards is really, really nice too. Needless to say, the art in this chapter, and all of Eden Zero, is just fire. It's fuego. And you know what? Speaking of fire and fuego, that dude Orc is kinda that right now, because once the bombs drop, he immediately takes action. He jumps onto one of the drones, tears into it, starts like mixing his arm with the drone's parts, and it like takes the weapons from the drone and puts it into his arm, and then he proceeds to use those weapons to attack all the drones. Now it's unclear if he destroyed all of the drones or he just destroyed some of them, because there were a lot of drones, and in the panel where Orc is firing, I mean, the panel's pretty small, so it only looks like you got a few of them, but also after this point in the chapter, no more drones are shown, so I'm guessing he got all of them? But moving on, the crew then find themselves to be separated from each other. Weiss, after a tad bit of technical trouble, then proceeds to contact the Eden Zero, and their hermit tells him that he needs to get back to the ship ASAP because they need his powers in order to stop the mania that is affecting the planet before it reaches the shining stars. So are you telling me that Weiss is going to be instrumental, possibly instrumental, in taking down Ziggy? That would be sick. It's a touch bit unfortunate though that Weiss is leaving the battlefield, because I really would have liked to see another Weiss fight, but hey, we're getting Hamura versus Mora. And I'm gonna be completely and totally truthful here. Hamura, she's my girl. She's still my favorite character in Eden Zero, but I 100% believe that she is not going to win this fight. Not alone, at least, and I'll get to that later. Next up, we got Rebecca versus Brittany, and yeah, Rebecca, she's gonna get washed. Ain't no way she's taken down a character that was introduced like 3 chapters ago and we know nothing about. And lastly, we have Orc versus Shiki. Now, I do believe that Shiki could possibly win against Orc. He's got quite a lot in his corner. I think the real question is, does Orc have overdrive? Because if Orc has overdrive, then it might be over for Shiki. And that is where help comes in. Because even though I think Shiki has a good shot at defeating Orc, I don't think that's how it's gonna go down for any of the characters. I don't think it's gonna be a 1v1 for any of them. I think Sylph, Jinn, and Laguna are gonna join the fight. Jinn is gonna help out Shiki, so we can finally get that Jinn-Shiki team up. Laguna is gonna help help out Rebecca, and Sylph is gonna help out Hamura. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter who helps out who, I just need to see those three on the battlefield. Not fighting in ships, but actually using their ether gears. But anyways, that's gonna do it for this video, so thank you all very much for watching. I hope that you all enjoyed. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. Peace out, everybody! Yeah!